Hello students, welcome to another lecture of pharmaceutical jurisprudence. In today's lecture we will be studying about Schedule P and Schedule X. So starting with Schedule P basically deals with the life period of drugs. It states the life period of drugs. So let's start. Coming to the introduction of Schedule P basically deals with it describes the life period of drugs which are given in months unless otherwise specified. Sometimes in some exceptional cases, not in months, the life period is given in days, right? But in general case, it is usually given in months, right? Basically, you can see 4 columns. The Schedule P basically describes the life period of drugs in a tabular form, and this particular table is divided into 4 columns, the first being the serial number of the drugs, the second being name of the drug, and the third being periods in months, and the last being condition of storage, right? So as you can see, for example, the first drug being adramycin. So adramycin has a life period of 30 months and it should be stored in a cool place. So for every drug, Schedule P has certain duration for its life period, and it states the suitable condition where that particular drug should be stored. Like in the previous slide, there was an exception that sometimes it is not the life period is not given in months but it is given in days. For example, you can see in the last point for BCG vaccine. So the period in months is not given, it is basically given in days. You can use BCG vaccine for a period of 24 days. It has a life period of 24 days and it should be stored in a cool place. So this was the exception that we were talking about in the first slide. Now, as we have seen the table in the previous slide, so column number 1, I have already told you all these points, but we'll just revise them once again. Column number 1 defines the serial number of the drug. The column number 2 defines the name of the drug that is being listed. Column number 3 defines the period in months of the expiry date of the drug. And column number 4, it defines the condition for storage of drug that is being listed. So I have just given examples of 7 drugs, but I will be sharing with you a document wherein all the drugs will be mentioned. You will be seeing certain terms in Schedule P for the storage condition. Like you will be seeing that a particular drug should be stored in a cool place. Then there will be a term that the particular drug should be stored in a cold place. So you should know the difference between such terms. So the term cool place basically means that you are placing a drug product in a room or in a place wherein the temperature is between 10 to 25 degrees. So then you will be seeing the term cold place. So cold place basically means a place that is having a temperature not exceeding 8. Then capsule should be kept in a well closed container at a temperature not exceeding 30 degrees Celsius. Many a times the file which I will be sharing with you, there are certain products in which the condition of storage is not mentioned, right, in the 4th column. So if no condition is mentioned, that means that particular drug product can be stored under normal room temperature, right? So this was all in Schedule P. Next we will be studying Schedule X, right? So Schedule X basically deals with habit forming and narcotic drugs. The drugs which are habit forming and the drugs which are narcotic in nature are listed in Schedule X. They are basically prescription only drugs, and these particular drugs should be given only after a customer gives you the prescription. Now Schedule X is a class of prescription drugs in India, right? And these drugs basically are the drugs which cannot be purchased over the counter. They cannot be given without the prescription from a registered medical practitioner, right? And the retailer from whom such medicines are being purchased, that particular retailer should preserve the prescription of Schedule X drugs for a period of 2 years. Now a point comes that what are the provisions for dispensing drugs which are specified in Schedule X, right? So the person who is dispensing a prescription containing a drug that is being specified in Schedule X, he should comply with the following provisions in addition to other requirements of the Drug and Cosmetic Act and its rule, right? So the first point is that the prescription must not be dispensed more than once, right? The meaning of this particular that if a person is coming to you, for example, if the date in the prescription, if for example, if today is 1st of August and the particular person is coming to you with a prescription of 31st July, right? So you will dispense the particular drug on 1st of August, right? That is done. If a person comes with the same prescription which has date of 31st July and you know that you have dispensed, the drugs on 1st of August for that particular prescription, if he again comes to you after a week or after 10 days, then you should not dispense that particular drug for the old prescription, right? So this is what this sentence means. Then if the prescription contains a direction that that particular prescription can be dispensed a stated number of times, for example, you can give a drug for 3 or 4 times using that same prescription. If the registered medical practitioner has mentioned in the prescription, then you can dispense drugs that many number of times, whichever number of times it is stated in the prescription, right? At the time of dispensing the medicine, you must note on the prescription the signature of the prescriber, the name and address of the seller, and the date on which the prescription is dispensed. So all these points should be noted on the prescription. Now, if a person comes to you with a prescription which has Schedule X drugs, so you should dispense only the drugs which are specified in that particular prescription. No other drug should be dispensed to that particular person. Even if some other drug has the same substance, even then you will not dispense any other drug. Whichever drug is mentioned in the prescription, that has to be dispensed to the person. Now, there are certain conditions for Schedule X drugs. So, whichever drugs are being specified in Schedule X, they should not be sold by retail, except if a person gives you a prescription which is a prescription of a registered medical practitioner. So whichever drugs are mentioned in Schedule X, they should not be given to the registered medical practitioner, or they should not be supplied to any hospital or any nursing home without a written order duly signed by an authorized person. Then coming to the storage of Schedule X drugs, so whichever drugs are specified in Schedule X, they should be stored under lock and key, right, in cupboard or in drawer, and only a responsible person should have access to that particular area. If any other person except the responsible person is using or is opening the lock or is using that particular cupboard or drawer, he should take out whichever things he requires, and then he should return the key to the responsible person only. Now, whichever drugs are specified in Schedule X, they will have a symbol of XRX in red color. You can see in this label, right? Warning statement is also mentioned that this particular drug product is to be sold on prescription of a registered medical practitioner only. So this is how you can identify by seeing the label of the drugs that that particular drug product is a Schedule X drug. So these are some of the examples of Schedule X drugs. For example, barbital is a Schedule X drug, amphetamine is a Schedule X drug, pentobarbital is a Schedule X drug, ketamine is a Schedule X drug. So all these are Schedule X drugs. Thank you so much, dear students. This was all in today's lecture. If you have any queries, any doubt, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much once again.